This is how to replace the fan in your Nintendo Switch 2. All the tools that I'm going to be using in this video are going to be linked in the description. Now if you need help getting down to this stage where I have the back cover and metal plate off, I'll put a link for a video where I show you exactly how to do that step by step. After you have the back cover and metal plate off, the first thing we want to do is disconnect the battery. I'm going to use a pry tool to just get underneath it just like this and pry up, and that connector will just pry right off. You do have to lift carefully because this white part of the connector and the black part of the connector are plastic and they can break. Now with the battery disconnected, we don't have to worry about anything having voltage in it, so now it's safe to work on the rest of the console. The next thing we need to do is remove these 4 screws for the heatsink and heat pipe. These are PH00 screws. Now with those screws out, we can pry gently on the heat pipe down here. We don't want to lift any more than this because we can risk damaging this heat pipe, and if we bend it too much it can break, so we don't want to bend it. I'm going to just lift up gently, and I'm going to put some pressure up right here as well. That will help me make sure not to bend it, and just lifting up slowly. There is adhesive underneath these fins, so that's why it's taken a little bit of prying to remove it. And there we go. There's the adhesive right down there, and we were able to get it up without doing any bending. Now just be careful when you set this aside not to set it down on anything that the thermal paste is going to get onto. I'm going to set it down on the metal plate that was over the top of this. And now with the heat pipe and heat sink out of the way, we can get right to the fan. We've got 1, 2, 3 screws and this ribbon cable. Now this is the fan ribbon cable, and there's a little black locking tab. You can use a pry tool. I like to just use my fingernail and just get under that tab and very gently pull up on it, just like that. Then I like to use a pair of tweezers. We can get on each side of it and just kind of push it out of its socket. With that done, we can remove the 3 screws holding it down. And with those 3 screws removed, we can just pull it right out. Now even if you aren't replacing this, if you just need to clean it, this is great because we can get to the underside of the fan or the top side of the fan. To reinstall a new fan, we just put it approximately into place. Now we do need to make sure this ribbon cable goes under the board right there as we set this into place. Now I'm going to use the 3 screws to screw it down, and then we will plug in the ribbon cable. Now for the ribbon cable, I like to use a pair of tweezers to just kind of gently push it into the slot. It's not really going easily, so I'm going to use my tweezers to pull it back. Very carefully, these are metal tweezers and we can very easily puncture this cable. So I'm just doing this all really carefully. And then I'm just pushing on each side of those ears to make sure it's all the way in the socket. And then I'm going to flip that locking tab down, just like that. And now with the fan installed, we need to make sure that it's got good thermal paste. Now this switch has barely been used and the thermal paste is really wet still. One of the things I will do is move some of the thermal paste back to the middle or more towards the middle. That will ensure that we have good coverage once we put the heat pipe back on. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this. Spread the thermal paste around to the middle, and then we can put this right back on. We've got to get the fins right down on the adhesive, and then we need to make sure that these brackets line up with the holes. And now we can install the screws. I'm going to install 1 screw there and then 1 screw over here. And I'm not going to tighten them down all the way initially. And this is just going to help that thermal paste spread out and not just spread to one side. And I'm going to sort of tighten them in sort of a crisscross pattern, just like this. And there we go. And now we need to reconnect the battery. To do that, we just need to line up the connector very carefully. Once it's all lined up and these tabs are correctly lined up, we can just push down all the way and you'll hear it click into place, and then the battery is reconnected. Now we just need to reinstall the metal plate and the back cover on the Switch 2.